This chair once belonged to my grandmother. It was blue. Then it belonged to my mother, who upholstered it in this green. And now it belongs to me. My grandmother first held me in this chair with a pillow under her arm 7 months after her firstborn grandchild lost his life in an automobile accident. I can only imagine the peace and comfort that I brought to my grandmother. She was not one for indulging children, and so I was a little surprised when I was not a baby anymore, not even a lap baby. On one morning that I awakened and I could not get out of bed because of some unnameable sadness that I felt. My grandmother lifted me from the bed, put me in her arms, and sat in this chair where I could feel her skin and hear her heart beating underneath my left ear. We sat there most of the day. She called someone to bring her a mid-morning cup of coffee. She later called someone to serve her lunch beside this chair so that I could continue to sit there, heart to heart, so that I could get over whatever it was that was bothering me, and so I could live to get out of bed the next day. That magnificent heart of my grandmother's stopped beating the year that I turned 11. And my mother had to negotiate with her 5 sisters and 1 brother to see who would get which of their parents' possessions. And that is how the chair came to live at our house. My mother used this chair for reading the paper, watching the news, and meditating every night for an hour before she went to sleep. She kept her eyes open. My mother was watching the news in the summer of 1969 when man first landed on the moon. I was in Kentucky visiting a childhood friend and learning how to successfully water ski on Lake Cumberland. That night, my mother could have reached out to one of her sisters to talk, to share her joy, her excitement, but she did not. She wanted to touch the future, and so she called me in Kentucky.